Hey guys, it's Connor Boyle, and this is the final whistle.
Hello and welcome back to Rugby Connection presents The Final Whistle. Now, this week's guest is breakout season for Edinburgh. Definitely one to keep an eye on. He is chomping at the bit. I feel like he's going to be in the Scotland camp in the summer. It's Connor Boyle. Connor, thank you so much for coming on. How are we getting on?
Good, mate. Good. It's a day off today, so just relaxing, really. We got a big game of the weekend, so nice to be on the show.
Yeah, we're very excited to have you on because you have been like the talk almost of the season from Edinburgh fans, just because of how you broke through and just your performances, especially in the Challenge Cup as well. But yeah, like you said, big game coming this weekend against Glasgow. It is the big one at St Murrayfield. 2 trophies on the line. Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah, I know. I think like this weekend, is probably the biggest game of our season and of their season, because you've not only got who qualifies for the Champions Cup, but you've got the 1872 Cup, and then whoever loses the game will probably end up playing the best team in Europe in Dublin against Leinster. So it's massive for both the team's season, and no one's really going to want to lose this one. Obviously no one ever wants to lose an 1872 Cup derby, but just I think all those added bonuses, add to the ferocity of the game.
Yeah, I think I did the math because we're 13 points down from Glasgow on the 1872 aggregate score. But if we win, but not by that margin, we win the Scottish Italian Shield from the URC, but not the 1872 Cup.
Yeah.
You get the champion. It's very weird. Like 2 teams can walk away with 2 different trophies essentially.
I know. I think obviously winning the 1872 Cup is something, but just in terms of league position and qualifying for the Champions Cup, that's probably the one that's on our minds the most. Just because it means we can bring the best teams in Europe to the Damhill Stadium now that we've got, and then just qualifying or finishing top of that Scottish Italian Shield is also something that we want to do as well.
Yeah, exactly. But we're going to bring it right back. What actually got you into rugby in the first place, Connor?
Well, I think the main thing that probably just got me into rugby was something all my friends did. When I was 5 years old, I think I went down to a Sunday rugby session at Stewmel Minis, and just it was probably a thing that everyone else was doing at the time, so my parents thought it'd be a good idea to just bring me along. And probably from the ages, my early ages, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't massive for me. It was only really once it became a bit more competitive that I realized I was actually pretty good at it. And then from there, it was probably just, all right, I enjoy this. I'm pretty good at it. How can I be as good as I can be? And then I kind of got a bit obsessed with it. And then it's just probably carried on to now.
Yeah, I mean, every time I've seen you play this season, whether it's on TV or in the stadium, you just have so much passion, and you could see that whether you're defending, carrying the ball, or even when we get a turnover and you see fist pumping, and it's great to see. But you have represented Scotland at essentially all levels, haven't you?
Well, I played Scotland 16s all the way to under 20s, all the way through. And it was just, a great honour doing all that age grade stuff. And then signed for Edinburgh when I was 19, and hopefully, doing as much as I can to try, and the goal is to play for Scotland eventually. So hopefully just keep playing for there. Yeah,
and honestly, you mentioned playing for Scotland. I don't see why you can't be playing for Scotland. I'm not just saying that because you're on the show. I'm not blowing smoke or anything. I have said it on our regular episodes as well, that definitely you are one to watch, and I think sooner the better, get you capped.
I think the way I look at it is I always look at the one of the hardest jerseys to play for a team. So if you're French, you always think about that French number 9 jersey, or you're English, you always think about the number 10 jersey as being one of the hardest places to play. But I think in Scotland, just the quality of the number 7s that we have available now, and throughout rugby history, you've got legends like Finlay Calder, and then now you've got Hamish Watson, Rory Darge playing really well, and even Jamie Ritchie, you can cover that position. You know, it's such a hard position to break into. So just for me, it's just focusing on myself and doing as much as I can do to just be competitive there and you know, focus on myself to make sure I'm playing the best rugby I can be.
Yeah, that's fair. Would you ever maybe go in the number 6 jersey or dabble at number 8, or is number 7?
Well, like I honestly think like I could probably play there, but I think more in the modern game, you're looking at players who are more of a line out option than myself. You know, I kind of see myself as an out and out number 7. That's my skill set. That's where I'm specialised in. So it's probably, you know, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't have any thing against doing the job, but you know, coaches are probably looking for another line out forward there at 6 and 8, and they may be looking for someone else to do that.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And I like your answer. You do get some players that are, oh yeah, I'll try here and then blah 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 and such and such. But no, you're sticking to your guns. Number 7 on your back. I like to see that. Obviously, we've just dabbled that you are a back row. Who is your dream back row partner? So who's your blind side? Who's your number 8? You can pick one, both past and present for each.
Back row, dream back row pairing. I don't really. So I'll say if I was playing 7, then number 8. It's quite a tough one. I mean, playing with Bill Maher we're very lucky to have him in Edinburgh at the moment. Like he's, you know, every season one of the best players in Europe. So maybe someone similar to him, Bill Maher. I'm trying to think of any other rugby players in that number 8 jersey. Him, maybe someone like, you know, Henry Tuolangi. Just that's what we speak to. Alistair Strawcosh is our S&C coach at Edinburgh, and he always says that he had the easiest job in the world when he was at Perpignan because it was just clear rucks for Henry Tuolangi because he was always amazing. And then 6 as a line out forward. I don't really know. Like, you know, I really do enjoy playing with people like Jamie Ritchie and like Crosby because they're just, you know, so physical, and it makes your jobs easier when they're like involved in everything. Best 6, I can imagine. Maybe someone like David Pocock, you know, that'd be really cool to play alongside, or even Jerome Camel, because they're just, you know, again, absolute workhorses, and they're just so physical and good over ball.
Yeah, I mean, good luck to try and stop anyone in that back row because it's not happening. Just physicality, start to finish.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, we've got one of the boys from Edinburgh got in on this, so I've to mention Rory Darge to you.
I was there when I think it was you texted Hodgie about that, and he was just,
oh, that's not fun if you're that's not. Yeah, it was Hodgie. Yeah, it was Jamie Hodgson.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to I don't even know they try and make a bigger deal out of it than it is, because like me and Darge are good mates. I was texting him earlier about seeing him on Saturday when he come through, and yeah, like they always try to wind me up because he's obviously doing so well, and but you know, I'm focused on myself, so I'm not too bothered about that anyway.
Is it a bromance between you and Darge? Is it?
Yeah, 100%. We played, you know, played together from 16s all the way up to, you know, under 20s, and even at Edinburgh together. So, you know, we know each other really well and we get on really well.
Fair enough. I've to ask about CB100 as well.
Well, I think that was probably stemmed from the same pattern. It was essentially, I think when Glasgow announced Darge had re-signed, they were saying, like, they called him RD7 or something. So everyone at Edinburgh just started calling me CB7, CB7 as a nickname. And then as soon as I went to change my Instagram handle on a night out to CB7, and it wasn't available, so I changed it to CB100 just for a bit of fire.
I don't know. Social media handles are the weirdest things ever, because like you get some of our guests previously and it has nothing to do with their name or what they do. I was like, how did we get there? And they explain. I'm like, okay, yeah. Cool.
Names. I mean, I played when I played for Watsonians. There was a boy there who played hooker, a guy called Ross Graham, and his nickname was Crumbs. and the only reason he was called Crumbs was because his brother was called Biscuits. So their brother was called Biscuits.
I like that. I'll write that. That's brilliant. And the last one Jamie told me to mention to you was Batman.
Oh, so I used to wear a scrum hat when I played, and I think I one interview, the media guy at Edinburgh was asking me, "Oh, why do you wear a scrum hat?" And I said something along the lines of, "Oh, when I play, I kind of like it makes me like it helps me just kind of focus for the game." And I said I don't want to sound like Batman, like when I put on the mask against someone else. And all the players got involved in that and just started calling me Batman from then. And my try song if I score at Murrayfield is the Batman theme song as well.
Fair enough. Actually, you could explain all this thing. Obviously, every player, when they score, gets their own like theme song.
Yeah.
Schumann's is the greatest showman because he is the greatest shoe. It's funny. Mark Bennett scored a few weeks ago, and it played "You're Welcome" by Moana.
Yeah, I have absolutely no idea why that song plays. I don't know if he's just a massive Moana fan. I need to actually ask him. Like Scooey's is obvious, and the other boys are just looking for something to get the crowd like a bit hyped up. But then I actually have no idea why Bentles is Moana. I don't know if it's kind of like he finds it a little bit like funny to himself, but I always get so confused when that comes on.
I even ran it by like my family, and they're like, "Has Mark got like young kids or that?" And they love Moana. I was like, "No, he's not."
I think it must just be his favorite movie. Like, I genuinely like. I haven't asked him about it, but I think there probably is like a deeper meaning to it. But I have no idea. I haven't asked him about it.
Fair enough. The only theory I had of it was like, "You're welcome. I scored." I don't know if that was it, but we'll get him on and ask. We'll ask him.
Yeah, I would do.
But yours is the Batman theme.
Yeah, mine's the Batman theme song, and I don't know if there's any other like.
Think I heard "Highway to Hell" when Ramiro scored.
Yeah, that's probably the way it goes. He enjoys a bit of rock music.
Some ones that are very weird, like but Mark Bennett's takes a cake for Moana. But
yeah, I think Darcy's is probably the best with the can because everyone gets behind it. It's like the can music, and everyone starts stomping their feet when it plays.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Need to get back to a game where Darcy's playing.
Yeah, well, hopefully he'll be back for this weekend.
I'll be there. I'll be there, loud and proud.
But the only thing is that it's in the main stadium at Murrayfield, so it's probably not as. It'll be a good atmosphere, but I really enjoy the Damhill. I think it's great. Yeah,
I was just going to ask, what do you actually think of Edinburgh finally having their own?
Oh, it's so good. Like, I mean, you've been to a few games, like especially the one against Ulster when it's sold out, and the quarter final last weekend. It's it's unbelievable. Like, although Murrayfield is an amazing place to play, it's such a big stadium, so you can kind of feel it almost like if we have the same amount of crowd, it'd be a bit empty and a bit like Cauldron-esque. But the Dam is it's different gravy in the sense that it almost brings a bit of like tension for other teams coming there. Like, you've got the fans on the back the whole time. Like, you're so close to the pitch. It's unbelievable just to be able to play in the pitch and to be so loud, like you can almost not hear yourself when you're playing.
Yeah, I mean, I was at the Ulster game in the quarterfinal, like you just mentioned, and both atmospheres were thunderous. I've had mates come across for the Connacht game and everything. They're like, "Is it always this loud?" I was like, "Yeah, pretty much."
Yeah, it's class. Especially when you're scoring a try, you can just hear the roar of the crowd go up. It's cool. It's pretty cool.
It looks weird though because it doesn't feel like it's going to be a loud stadium, but when you get in, it's just like a mini cauldron of noise almost.
Yeah, I know. I think it's just like you're actually really close to the pitch because we train on that pitch every day, and it's like when it's empty, no one there, it doesn't feel like it's going to be like that. But when everyone gets in, because you're quite close to the pitch and everyone's packed in quite closely beside each other, I think it just reverberates around the stadium.
Yeah, exactly. My favourite thing about the Dam is the loophole that every Edinburgh fan seems to find. So at the start of the game, you get over the speakers, due to COVID-19, you're not allowed to meet or greet the players or anything like that. Just go behind the stadium and stand at the barrier. You can meet everyone.
I know. It's stupid. Like, I hope that rule's gone away now, because it's um obviously COVID's not as big as a threat as it once was. But yeah, I think, that, especially when you leave the pitch and you've got all the fans there, it's quite nice to see all of them after the game and be able to get, a picture taken with them and saying some stuff. But I think just the damn health in general is like, I've definitely noticed it, that this year I think there seems to be like a bit more buzz about being an Edinburgh rugby fan than there was in the past, because we've got our own ground, and people can come down and enjoy a bit more of a better Saturday night.
Yeah, exactly. The only thing I do miss is pitch side standing, but you can't get much closer.
Yeah, I know. Well,
realistically,
like I used to have a season ticket, and I mind when we had the pitch side standing at Murrayfield in the stands. Like, it was almost like, it was so big, because obviously it's such a big stadium, that you'd have like kids playing touch rugby games in the pitch side standing. Whereas, like, I suppose there is pitch side, there's safe standing bits at the game, so it's probably a bit more for rugby spectators. But I think in terms of overall, it's probably just a much better thing to have.
oh, it is. It's the best. I've been an Edinburgh fan, I think, since I was like 5 or 6. So I've been to like you said, like the empty Murrayfield. I've been to Myerside, and nothing clicked properly until you got to the Dam, and it's like my second home now. I'm there like all the time. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Obviously, like when fans, like when you're coming through after a game or even going to warm up, you hear, like, it's usually younger fans saying it, but what's the weirdest thing you've had shouted at you?
Weirdest thing shouted at me? I don't. To be honest, I haven't really played enough to have got much stick yet. I remember before, I think it was a Munster game. So, like, we were about to kick off at Thomond Park, and like, someone was just giving Langers like hell abuse on the touchline, just like, "Oh, number 12, you're terrible, you're terrible." And I was just like, "Oh my God, this is so aggressive." And then I think I played under 20s at Franklin Gardens, and I remember just conceding a try against England, and like getting absolute just abuse thrown at me from the upper deck, and just looking up and just being like, "Why, mate? This is an under 20s game, and you're about 30 years old."
Yeah.
But there's nothing. I remember actually last week, some kid, like, hey, maybe it was against Ulster, like, Mish had lost his head tape at half time, and there was a young Edinburgh fan was cutting about in his head tape that had come off. And I was like,
that's weird.
It's crazy. That's diehard stuff.
The only reason I asked is because last week after the Wasps game, obviously, like, Blair and all that's getting asked for like 1,000 photos. There was a group of young lads across from me. They were wanting anything. They asked for like the bibs, they asked for a water bottle, and it just kept getting weirder the more rejection they were getting. So Blair came back, and it was, "Can we get your shorts?" I was like, "He's worn, like, they're match worn. That's
pretty gross, isn't it? Yeah.
That's so weird."
Yeah, I think like we obviously, the shame is like we've only got a certain number of tops, so we can't give away the tops after the game. But like, everyone wants them, and then it's the same with boots. Like, I only have a couple pairs of boots on me for the season, and I can't be giving them away willy-nilly. But I think there is some that tunnel from the pitch to the changing room is like some of the stuff you get requested, like just your line out blocks or stuff like that. It's just, you don't want that. I don't know why you want that.
Even if we did give you it, what would you do with it?
I know. I have no idea. I don't want to know, to be honest.
It's like my other half is like Blair Kinghorn daft. She loves Blair for obvious reasons. And I did think about it, like, if I asked him for his top and he gave me it, I don't know what would you do with it? Like, just keep it, or would you will you wash it?
Yeah, I know. It'd be pretty gross.
That's what I was thinking, because surely if you wash it, it loses all value, because then it's technically not match worn.
Yeah, but then they'll be at like the shirts, like after the game, they'll be absolutely dripping in sweat. Like, they'll be gross.
No, I'm good. Just a signed, non-used top works for me.
Yeah.
Have you got any advice for younger talent trying to break through? So maybe like the under 14s, when rugby gets into the more contact side of things.
Unfortunately, Yeah, well, obviously, like the main thing is like when contact gets brought in, like a lot of people just focus on, they think, oh, I'm physical specimen, like I want to be as big as I can, I want to be, as aggressive as I can so I can tackle people as hard as I can and whatnot. But the advice I always think of is just make sure you're always working on your skills and that, because once you get to like a senior level or a pro level or whatever stage you get to, you find everyone at professional or even like semi-professional or Premiership rugby in Scotland, they're always big. Like everyone's going to be big. That would just come naturally to everyone. But if you don't have good skills, and you won't be able to play at that level, and especially when you get to pro level, like everyone's massive. Like regardless, you've got like freaks like Magnus Bradbury, Bill Matters, Ben Muncaster, big guys. But the best ones are the ones who can catch and pass as well.
Yeah,
and that's where they stand out. If you can offload, catch, pass, not only are you a big guy who's going to carry the ball well, but you've got the soft skills to link with the backs, and that's what probably coaches will pick you on.
Yeah, absolutely. Who was the most like welcoming when you first got into Edinburgh?
The most welcoming, I think, Stuart McAnally. The whole time I've been here, Stuart McAnally and Gilco have probably been club captains. I'd probably say, they were, well, Stuart McAnally especially was very welcoming. He always makes a thing out of, introducing himself to young players and chatting to them and making sure they're having a good time. So he's always been really good at that. And then, just Hamish Watson's been very good, just advice and just being, someone that you can like learn off as well the whole time. And that's Stevie Laurie. I've got a great relationship with Stevie Laurie, and he's been here pretty much the whole time I've been at Edinburgh as well. So just, it's a good environment for me and somewhere where I enjoy coming to work now, especially.
Good. I mean, it's funny that you mentioned Stuart McAnally. There's a running joke with me and the other hosts that I kind of look like him. I don't think I do. A lot of people say I do, but I'm not having it. But we'll let you decide if I look like Stuart McAnally or not.
Yeah, I think you kind of do a little bit. You've got the hair. He's got like a little quiff going as well.
I'm not having it. I'm not having it.
Yeah, I think
The joke was when Stuart, I think, picked up a knock against Ulster.
Yeah.
All the boys around are like, Murray, why are you coming off the pitch? Shut up. I'm not. I'm evidently not. It's not funny anymore.
Yeah, I know. No, he's I think it was like someone posted a TikTok of it. Maybe, yeah. Someone posted a TikTok of it and it got shared into a group chat and everyone's having a bit of a laugh.
Oh, what? I'm in the Edinburgh group chat. Oh, I'm just gonna like crawl into a ball. Like no more of this. That's fine. That's actually pretty cool that you have found my videos as well. It's pretty cool. I like that.
I think it was Hodgie who shared it into the chat. I can't remember at the time. I think we were into Africa as well.
Oh God, I'm never gonna live this down.
But you're not the only one, because they say Joe Paella, or I don't know, Paella is or a videographer. He looks like Rambo as well.
Oh, nice. Where does the nickname Rambo actually come from?
Again, I don't actually know. It's just kind of like ever since I've been here, everyone's called him Rambo, and I've just kind of just unquestionably started calling him that as well. Like it's one of those things in rugby, you don't actually know if it has a negative connotation, but you never really want to ask. So you just kind of start calling them that and just go along the flow. And it's been 4 years now, and
yeah, fair enough.
I have no idea why we call him that.
I always like using his Instagram handle because it's Stuart the Pilot. When he's captain, I like to think like, ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking.
Yeah,
that makes more sense. But no, he gets called Rambo, so I was like, okay.
Yeah, I know.
What's your actual nickname apart from like CB100?
That's probably the thing. Like most people call me just Boiler. That was probably just Cockers who started calling me that when I first came in. But like, I don't think I ever get called Connor on a day-to-day basis. It's probably either Boiler, Batman, or CB or something like that.
So if you get called Connor, you're in trouble then.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, cool. I'm the exact same. My parents, my other half, friends, family. If I hear Murray, I'm like, what did I do?
Yeah, no, I was saying like I'm trying to I try and tell people who like aren't in Edinburgh about like stories, and there's just so many nicknames now that like no one actually has any idea who like any of them are, and they just like trying to like keep up the story, just like, oh, who's that again?
Go on, give us some nicknames apart from like the obvious, like we know Shuey is.
Yeah, Shuey. Magnus Bradley gets called Mole. I don't really know why that is as well. And then, but to be honest, just like they're just basic ones like Grant Gilchrist would be called Gilco, and then like Jamie Hodgson would be Hodgie and whatnot. It's just kind of shortened abbreviations of their names, really. There's no ever kind of. Although we did have that new Jamie Jack guy come in, and he's called El Toro for some reason, and
Okay.
which is new. I don't know again.
Anyone in the comments knows what El Toro means, put it in and explain if there's anyone.
I think it means like the bull, but I think he doesn't. I don't really know. It doesn't really fit the kind of description.
Maybe we'll maybe find out one day.
Yeah.
What's your aims? I was going to say for the remainder of the season, but there's not much of the season left. So what would you like to achieve? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I'll ask that. I'll change it.
5 years. I don't really think 5 years down the line is quite a big one. I think that that last year I just wanted to make my debut for Edinburgh, and then this year was kind of just trying to. I wanted to be in the conversation to be in that starting 23 of the match day 23. But I think next year probably my goal moving on is to try and be in the starting 15. That's where I want to be next year. I don't they always say like that external stuff like Scotland and whatnot. If you're starting for Edinburgh, you're in the back row even, you've got a great chance to be playing for Scotland. So my goal is just work hard in the off season, have a good pre-season, and then improve on the performances from this year and try and get better and better. I think I'm kind of structured in that each year I want to be doing better and better, and every day I always look for those improvements on a weekly basis. So hopefully next year I can kick on from this and progress further.
That's fair, and I like the fact that you're quite down to earth about it. You're not, I'm the best, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You're quite grounded, and that's great to see. Now it's time to understand the man away from the rugby, get to know Connor Boyle. So, what's your favourite post-match drink?
Post-match drink? Well, depends if we win or lose, to be honest.
Both.
If we, to be honest, like if we win, one big thing for Mike is celebrating the wins. So we'll tend to have like a good group of boys. I think Cookie, the kit man, he always has a 10-inch or a strongbow in the change room for us. If it's a soft drink, I'll probably just enjoy like a Coke Zero. Big fan of that. But then if it's if I'm going on a night out, maybe a Jaeger.
Nice. That took a weird turn so quick, but I love
it.
Yeah. Favorite pizza topping?
Favorite pizza topping? Probably pepperoni.
Good. Thank you. Someone's actually came up with a safe answer.
Yeah. I don't want to say pineapple.
Last yes, came out with weird and wonderful. So next one, pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Nah.
Good. Thank you. Connor Boyle understands this. So many people said yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? It's just weird.
I don't like pineapple anyway. Like I'm not a big fan of it as a fruit.
I enjoy pineapple. It's just like you don't mix those two things at all.
Like, do you put on cold slices, or does that get like? Is it hot pineapple?
I've never, to be honest, I've not had it in years, and I don't plan on having it again. So
no, near that. That's fine. Favorite film?
Oh, favorite film? About Time. I don't know if you ever watched that. It's by Richard Curtis, the guy who does Love Actually. It's a bit of a romantic comedy.
All right, okay.
Such a good watch. Such a wholesome movie.
Fair enough. Favorite song?
Favorite song? Probably say "Don't Delete the Kisses" by Wolf Alice.
Okay, nice.
Something different.
That's very different. What's your favorite music genre?
Music genre. Probably like alternative rock or like indie rock. Yeah.
Yes. Perfect. Vibing so hard now.
Yeah.
Worst roommate on tour.
A worst roommate on tour. Um, don't know. Like you tend to get put with people you like. You put with you like and you get on with well. They're pretty good at Edinburgh. Not that I don't like anyone in the squad, but they're pretty good at Edinburgh putting you with people that you know you're friends with.
Yeah.
I'd probably say the only well, I wouldn't even say it's a negative experience because we got on well, but like pre-season this year, I was with young Rudy Brown, and on the Thursday he got COVID, and the whole pre-season camp got shut down. So that was I had to get like a quarantine taxi back to Edinburgh after it. So it was probably the only negative experience I've had. So I mean, if I had to say one, that's probably the only negative experience I had, but it wasn't due to him.
Yeah. Biggest character in the squad.
Biggest character. There's a lot of them, to be honest. Like Pierre Scumin's always full of energy, trains really hard. And then you got characters like Magnus Bradbury's, always full of energy off the pitch, and Ben Muncaster is just kind of a bit odd. But yeah, I'd probably say Pierre Scumin for biggest character.
How's Ben odd? I'm curious now. I'm just chucking that in.
It's kind of a weird thing to explain. He's just kind of one of those people who does everything. He's very intense, I'd say. So if you're talking to him, he'll just be like, "Oh, how are you doing? Oh, that's great."
Right, fair enough. No, I only asked because when we had Hodgie on, he explained Shuey's weird Christmas.
Weird Christmas. I haven't heard that story, to be honest.
No, if I can remember it properly, Shuey had to organise something around Christmas time to entertain you all. All these weird masks and.
Oh yeah, that was. I think that was when I was in the academy, and he had us dress up as elves, but we were all wearing hula skirts, and I think someone was dressed as the Queen, and someone was dressed as Margaret Thatcher, and someone was dressed as Boris Johnson. I don't even know what was going on there, and we all had to read poems.
I got told about the poems that made no sense. And...
they were I think that they probably made sense, but just some of the people who are reading them, the average ability to read in the squad was absolutely put to shame that day. It's read aloud was terrible.
Fair enough. I mean, we will get Shuey on, and I will ask him to explain himself for it.
Yeah,
because that's two of the boys from Edinburgh now telling me about this story.
Should ask him about his recent shark diving experience as well.
His recent shark diving experience.
He went. So when we were in South Africa, he one of the days off on a Sunday, there was options to play golf. There was option to go chill at the beach, and there was an option Skewy had organised shark diving for a few of the boys.
Right.
Obviously, we beat sharks on a Saturday, and the day off was a Sunday. So Saturday night, everyone was having a few beers. I say a few. Everyone was pretty hungover the next morning. So I'd chosen to play golf, so I had a bit of a lie-in because we weren't golfing till 10. But the shark diving bus left at about 6 a.m. So all the hungover boys got on the shark diving bus and had to drive 2 hours to the sea. And when they got there, they discovered it was too windy to actually go shark diving. So they'd all got up at 6 a.m, hungover, drove in 2 hours and not being able to do anything. And they were all absolutely raging at Skewy because he'd organised it.
For sure. Never gets it easy.
No, I know. But he was it wasn't a shark diving, it was a shark driving, I described it as.
Oh, fair. I like that. What's your favourite dessert?
Favorite dessert? Maybe cheesecake.
Kind of cheesecake.
Just vanilla, maybe, just normal.
Fair. Nice safe choice. Scrum cap or tape?
Tape, I think. Tape, yeah.
Does it hurt?
No, it doesn't hurt. I think I'd always just played with a scrum hat, but it's you have better vision of your surroundings, I think. And I don't even know. I've just enjoyed it a lot more now. and I think it's just easier to hear everyone as well.
That's fair. And, you can give some fans tape, as we've learned. That's still weird, but yeah, they're always just, there you go, there's some tape.
Exactly, yeah.
Biggest inspiration on and off rugby, and why?
Biggest inspiration in rugby, maybe I've always liked Michael Hooper. I think he's probably like a player that I see my game as. Just he's so dynamic for his size, and just the longevity he's had in his career, and just the effect he's had on the Australian national team as well is something I've always found really impressive. And then off the field, I think off field probably my parents, I'd say, as my biggest inspiration there. They both work really hard to be where they are, and like my mum's from up north, tiny village up north, and my dad's from Haddington. They've like definitely worked very hard for me and to put me in the place where I am. And I think my whole point in rugby now is just I owe it to them to get as far as I can. So that's probably my inspiration off the field.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Now, when you're making a bowl of cereal, does the cereal first or does the milk go first?
It's the cereal first.
Good. I don't get why people put milk first. Surely you need to know how much cereal you need first.
Yeah. It's a bit of it's kind of counterproductive putting the milk in first because the cereal just floats as well.
Exactly. How do you make a cup of tea?
I actually don't drink enough tea to have any preference there. Like sometimes I'll pour a glass of water and put the tea bag in, and sometimes I just put the tea bag at the bottom and put some water in. But I don't actually drink normal tea, so I know a lot of people are like, oh, you can't have milk or something like that.
Fair enough. I was going to say you're going to trigger some people with some way of ordering. I'm not a big tea drinker. I just know it's a big, massive debate online when you see people making tea videos, and then you just say, no, that's wrong.
Yeah, I again, like I don't drink a lot of tea. I drink coffee quite a lot because it's something social to do, but I'm not really a big tea fan.
Oh, there you go then. Costa coffee or Demos coffee?
Oh, Demos coffee, 100%. Yeah.
It's like fresh. It is fresh, and it's not.
Oh yeah, it's 100%. Like I think he's got his own coffee roasters down in New Haven. Like there's a New Haven guy who does it for him, and the coffee that he comes in every now and again for the squad. Like if we've got a Tuesday training session or a Thursday training session, he'll put the thing on for the boys, and we'll get a coffee. But he's actually at the neighbourhood stock market in Stockbridge in Edinburgh at the moment, if boys want to go down there.
Nice. Oh yeah, I've seen that, the espresso martinis. And
yeah, exactly. Espresso martinis later on, but the coffee's there all day as well, and it's really good as well.
And you get to meet them in Highland.
Yeah, exactly. I think Charlie Savala and Nathan Sweeney are actually working as baristas there as well.
Well, part-time gig when you're not training either.
Yeah.
Last one, Rory Darge or Hamish Watson?
I think that's probably one, like you just look at one of the questions that will get you in trouble, and I probably can't answer that. I think they both have such different like styles of play. Like Hamish has so much experience. Like he's obviously a British and Irish Lion. He carries the ball so well, and he's just so aggressive considering like he's not as big as maybe other international back rowers, and Darge, I think Darge just does the fundamentals of the game so well. Like he's so strong in the tackle. He's got great footwork, and he's so strong over the ball as well. Like they're both such good players, and you're lucky to play have played with and train with such good players, because you can learn so much from them.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think the way I put it was, I think it was a Scotland-Italy game this year, and it looked like Hamish was doing the majority of the work in the first half. And then the second half, it's like he took a step back, and let Dargy do it, and it almost looked like a proud dad moment. Like if you see on the camera, he just tends to like, my boy. I'm like,
well, they're both ridiculously fit individuals as well. Like they're both, I think Hamish has got probably one of the best ever forwards times in the Bronco fitness test that we run at Edinburgh. Like he's ridiculously fit individual, and so is Darge as well. So, you know, there's no doubt that if they played together, they couldn't both do it for the whole game as well.
Exactly. I mean, you've absolutely smashed the getting to know you stage. I'm going to just finish up on this, just because he set you up earlier with the whole CB100 and the Darge and Batman. If you got anything that you'd like to get back about Hodgie?
Don't really know, to be honest. Like, I know boys call him Leo Cullen at Edinburgh because he looks like Leo Cullen, which isn't the best celebrity look I look at.
I might message him out and see how he reacts.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I lived with Hodgie for, you know, a year and a bit, so there's nothing there. Those things aren't the worst things he could say about me, so I'm not too taken back.
Yeah, but no, you've absolutely smashed it, and just thank you so much for agreeing to come on and
no worries, man.
Talk rubbish, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's been an absolute blast. This has been the final whistle with Connor Boyle, and we'll see you next time.